Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another special episode of the Everyday Black Man podcast. I would do my original intro, but DJ Allmight and R. Reed have something special cooked up for you. Please follow us on Twitter at EVYD Black Men, Instagram at Everyday Black Men, and the Everyday Black Men Facebook page. You can also visit us on our website, www.everydayblackmen.com. Before I let you go and begin the episode, I wanted to let you know that now on digital, Gully is the powerful and explosive crime story of three boyhood friends who find their escape from LA's tough streets in one out of control night of partying. But when the rampage stops, retribution begins. Directed by Namil Elderkin, Gully stars Kevin Harrison Jr., Charles Plummer, Jacob Lattimore, Jonathan Majors, Amber Heard, and Academy Award nominated Terrence Howard. Buy or rent Gully and watch it tonight. Rated R from Paramount Pictures. And without any further ado, let's start the show.
Right.
Oh, there it
There we
goes.
go. What's up, Craig? How y'all doing?
Oh,
What's up?
We are now live.
Yeah. Welcome to the Everyday Black Man podcast. I am taking over. Nobody else is here. Fuck them niggas. It is all me. No, I'm kidding. Armstead is here. Riker is here. R. Reed is here. He's taking the back burner though, man. You know, because he hasn't been pulling his weight. So we're gonna call out R. Reed. We got a few topics out here today. Riker, you want to go ahead and take a mic again? Because I kind of went rogue with that. I didn't expect.
Let him do it. So it's gonna be me and you. We're gonna share a mic, me and you.
All right, man. So the first top. Wait a minute. We just gonna go to everybody good, mental health good.
I mean,
Well,
for a
first,
little while. Introduce the guest.
before we, yes. First thing first, let's introduce the guests. We got this is Nikki, aka Yoga at a Glance.
Oh.
Are
And,
you the
go
Nikki
ahead.
from the Dream song, Nikki?
Oh no.
That's
Okay.
darling, Mickey. Boy, y'all know nothing about that.
Oh, it's Darling Nikki. Okay, cool. I didn't know which version we got.
No.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
There you go.
Okay.
And why do men keep singing about the heartbreak that you caused?
Ooh wee. Well, a little bit about myself. I am a yoga instructor and a mother of two children. I am 45 years old, and I am a fitness enthusiast. And there's a lot of different layers about me, but I am very big on femininity and resting in that feminine space. So that's just a little glimpse
Oh, we're gonna
of
get into
who I
that.
am.
I was about to say you're gonna
Yeah.
enjoy that guy with that deep, raspy voice right there.
Oh yeah. She said something about femininity, and I felt like it's something we'll discuss a little bit later on. But for now, welcome to the podcast. I also Offset mentioned that you had your own podcast. Could you go ahead and throw
Right.
that out for us?
My podcast is with my daughter, and she is 26 years old. And it is called Is That Your Sis podcast, which basically focuses on fostering healthy relationships with mother and daughters. And yeah, basically. And it's called Is That Your Sis podcast?
Is that
Because
your
we look,
sis podcast?
yes, because that's the question they always ask us. They ask
Are y'all
me.
sisters?
So that's the female version of whose man's is this? Like I was sitting there thinking about that. Okay.
Nah, I
It's
was
like,
also thinking like
we look
the ladies
alike.
on TikTok who be with their daughters twerking, but I don't think it was really
No,
like that's
no.
what I was thinking of.
No. We don't do anything like that.
Speaking about
But yeah,
femininity, how do you feel about that? Is that empowering or degrading? Go. You're on the spot. No, I'm kidding.
you
You don't have
talking
to.
about me? How do
No,
I feel
not
about
you.
it?
Not you.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, yes. How do you feel about it? Like I
How do
know
you feel about it
you
personally?
clearly speak as a woman who will not twerk with their daughter or have their daughter twerking on social media, which we applaud that in the angry black man world.
Well, it depends on how she look and what she's doing with her life. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, no, I feel that as a black woman, yeah, we for a very long time rest. We always are in a masculine space for some reason. So I decided the only way that I can be truly in my skin comfortably is to be feminine. So I teach my daughter and I teach other women how to be more feminine. Um, and they'll be a little more happier and not angry if they rest on that energy space, not always constantly on the masculine side. Not that I'm saying that men are angry. I'm saying men are a little more uh, bold. Women should be a little more softer.
Just to kind of say this, one thing that we'll probably get into it later in the podcast, but I felt like femininity has been lost due to the rise of I don't know. I hate to blame it on the feminist movement, but
It
they
is.
never say. I mean, God damn it. Okay, we can say it then for the part for the world. Anyway, but I feel
It
like it's been
is.
lost. Like you ever hear I think they say tough for a girl or why can't it be tough for a boy? I'm like, what's wrong with femininity? Like, what's wrong with
why
embracing
why
that?
can't it be pH balance for a woman, strong enough for a man? That's
Well,
what it
I
is. Yeah.
think that, and like I said, I'm
No,
45 years old. So when back in the 90s, it was 90s and I think 80s, there was a big push for women to go back into the workforce. I mean, even women having to, not breastfeed. I think that's what kind of started it.
That was
Women
a
had to
movement.
really focus a lot. Yeah, there's a big push on that. I mean, that's why you saw in commercials. It's
I'll
about,
feed
Yeah.
them hemp milk.
And
yeah, you
side,
know,
sidebar to that. Did y'all see that? Like Summer Walker was pushing not breastfeeding her child.
Yeah, she was giving the baby hemp milk.
hemp
Yeah,
milk. Yeah,
yeah,
right. So
yeah.
it's just
She's a
things
role
like
model
that.
to people, by the way. She's a
I
role model.
know,
No,
isn't
she's
that
not.
crazy?
Of course she's not.
But
Also,
so just things like that, like more of pushing women, focusing on education, being a single, not single woman, but being more independent and not need. I don't need a man. Kind of songs were coming out, and there was a big push, like in the 80s and the 90s, for that for some reason.
you hit on two things that I want to know. Do you attribute feminine independence and strength with having to be what's the word? You have to like also strut your sexuality on different forums, from either real life to social media, where I could say like maybe me, not maybe me and like R Reed, we always say there's no reason to actually show how successful you are and what you're doing and needing to add sexuality to it. Why can't you just show that you are good at what you do without, like, you're a
Mhm.
yoga instructor. So
Yes,
on social media, most yoga instructors that are successful have the most skimpiest of clothes. Like, what does that
right.
have to do with yoga? I mean, and
Well,
we know the obvious answer to it, but how do you feel about that as a woman and a yoga instructor that or fitness person?
well, I mean, to be completely honest, this is a man's world. We live in a very patriarchal society, and I have a following, but majority of the people that's on my following and the majority of people that take my class are men, and that's because men are very visual people. So sex sells, and I mean, it's just being completely honest. Now, what we do with it and how we have power as women to over sexualize ourselves if we choose to, because we feel like we're going to make more capital that way. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have to over sexualize ourselves. But a
Yeah,
lot of
but that's
women do that.
understanding the game and not selling yourself. You selling the game. There's a difference.
I
There's a
respect
level
that
of
answer.
Right.
That's an
like
answer I respect.
like
Yeah.
correct. Like Beyonce sells the same thing, but she doesn't slut it out like that. Like, come on, like and I don't even
I
Yeah.
like
know
Beyonce like that.
I know men still want to see the virtue in the women,
They don't
you
believe in
know.
that no more.
But you don't want that to. I mean, but you don't want that to be the definition of you either.
You don't want it to
I
be the
don't think a woman's
definition.
sexuality is defined. But like, I think they see power in sexuality, but there's levels to it. Like
There's
being sexy is
there's a
fine,
woman named
of course.
Selena Powell. I want to introduce you to.
Right.
There's
Oh,
the
I mean,
fine line between being sexy and being a whore. Come on,
right,
like
and that's where these Instagram models are, and I know a plenty of women that I know that practice yoga that are teachers and also have OnlyFans pages. You
all right. So
know,
do you have their password? Oh, I'm just
no,
kidding. Research.
absolutely not. See, you see what I'm saying?
Research.
I mean, and it sells, unfortunately. But there are pages like my page. People, I don't do anything that is overly sexual on my page at all. But men still find it overly sexual because it's yoga. And yeah, I'm not wearing skimpy clothes, but I gotta wear
I mean,
yoga clothes. I
you went
can't
fit.
wear
Yeah,
So
baggy
yeah,
what
clothes.
can they find you on
yeah.
your Instagram?
See?
She's
Um,
very, very good at her craft.
So one thing I would say is
Mm-hmm.
not one more thing. What am I saying? Oh shit, you made me lose my train of thought. That train never left the station.
you
Um
start thinking about yoga.
You started
Bad
thinking about
no,
yoga.
yoga,
no.
huh?
Well, as soon as she
You
said
were
she
thinking
was a
about
yoga
hot yoga.
instructor, so there's this episode of Seinfeld when he had slept with this girl who was a gymnast, and he thought it was gonna be all special and kind of stuff. Then he
Mhm.
had sex with her, and it was some regular ass sex, and he was so disappointed.
Oh yeah, I remember that episode. And he couldn't figure out how to break up with her either. He
Yeah,
was like, no, I mean, I think that's I mean, I think for
he
the
would
sake
think
of
the same
that
thing of a yoga
episode,
instructor. Yeah, of
I
course.
think, I think, I think for the sake of the episode, that was just that because I can't believe somebody that does it recreationally like that will
Mhm.
not be able to translate that into recreational activities.
Well,
Oh,
it's an
yeah.
energy. Well, I think it's an energy. I know many of women that are really good at yoga, but they're not sensual. They're not feminine. They're not.
Mm.
They don't have the art of seduction.
They
They
say
don't
words
have.
like "bruh."
You do because the
Right.
way you just said that, that term like no disrespect. I'm gonna stop this real quick. Like the way like she said something just a second ago, and I was just like, that was
Okay,
so sexy.
so she
Anybody heard
speaks.
that?
All right, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You speak in a very sensual, womanly way. It's feminine manner, but it
Yeah.
is also very
didn't I tell
attractive.
you?
It's
Damn,
I
attractive
bro.
because,
I want to
Oh,
talk to you about books.
like, if this was the '90s, you could make money on a 900 number just talking to people. Is what he's
I
saying.
know. And back in the day, I was asked to be on a record. I don't remember whose record,
I
but you
feel
know how
like you are the person. I feel like you're the woman that says Maybach music. I'm not gonna lie. You sound like that right now.
right.
Maybach
Maybe.
music.
Right.
Well, the thing about it is, I feel like I also have a very trusting
Warmth
voice
to
as
your voice.
well.
Warmth.
So you want
Warmth.
to
Yeah.
listen to me. You trust what I have to say, and it's engaging, and it's honest, and it's genuine.
You should do
So
Boing,
audiobooks.
boing, boing.
it's so silly.
I'll tell y'all this.
Lord Jesus.
I've always told her that she's very, very, she has a very inviting spirit about her. Like her aura
Oh, thank
alone
you. He
is just.
does.
I mean, that's something that's underappreciated though, because I've said that before in my single day and even now, like
Mhm.
where like I've met women that like other women that I was with didn't understand why I was attracted to them. I was like, well, as a man, when you sit there and talk to her and you interact with her, you're attracted to her. She might not physically look exactly what you would expect me to go after, but it's like shit, I'm attracted to this person I'm talking to.
It's femininity. Like one
Hmm.
thing I would give my child's
Exactly.
mother credit on is she's very feminine, but she took those classes when she was younger. The whole book on the
The
head, all that
charm
kind of stuff.
school. Yeah.
Charm
Yeah,
school, yeah. I need to send my
yeah.
Hmm.
daughter to charm school because well they're a little she's a little she's a little there's this charm school ran by this lady in South Africa. I think her name's Ro El Couture or something like that. But she's a little bit too extreme for Americans, so y'all ain't gonna like her. Yeah.
Really?
So I mean, and that's the key. I think men really do not, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think men really care about a woman's education and the type of job
Oh
that she.
yeah, I think what's that guy name? Kevin Samuels says that a lot,
Kevin
but women are
Samuels.
not catching it. Like you're not catching it. Like you're not get. Like I'm not telling you not to get educated, but those things don't impress men. Fit, feminine,
Right.
and friendly. He said those
Yes.
things: fit, feminine, and friendly.
Well,
And
they
most
Yep.
women,
Inspirational.
Don't forget fertile.
well, nobody cares to
Well.
be pregnant if they're not trying to have children. Everybody ain't trying to have children.
I know that was
Yeah.
just
True.
one of the ones that he said.
Well, another one is, I mean, there's five senses. So you have to smell good, you have to sound good, and not saying that you have to be pretty, but you have to look good. Like,
You are
I
the
go to the
first
gym
person to
all the
ever
time.
word it like that. I'm not gonna
Like,
lie. There are five senses,
wow,
and to stimulate all
wow.
five senses is a big deal.
Right.
Never
So
thought about it
yeah,
like that.
if you look at it, the five senses, then you be like,
Look
okay,
good, smell good, feel good.
yeah, taste good. She has
Yeah,
to
man, Sean tastes like
feel
nasty.
good. She has to be soft. Have you ever like touched a woman's hand? You shook her hand or you hug her and she's
Got,
just rough and tight. You're like,
yeah, bro.
man,
You out these
still
streets. I'm not working in a warehouse. You can get your
right.
desk job.
So
I
it
feel
has
like
to be
I can
something
get.
about her. When she
I can.
walks into the room, she makes presence. Like you're like, wow, something about her. Not that I'm gonna marry her or anything like that, but
We
I mean,
you
you kind of
know,
know.
if we
Yeah, to be
continue
honest
down
with
this
you.
path, I feel like I can get in trouble on this episode. Like,
And
who?
then start the show. Let's start the show. We'll come back to that. We'll
we
come back
gonna
to that.
start the show
Go,
because
first, I
Yes,
said,
look,
first,
yes.
I
look,
said,
we run it down.
Let's start the
All
show.
right. So we're gonna start the
Mm-hmm.
show for real officially.
But
And
okay,
feel free to chime in on what you feel like your opinion there is or your observation is on these topics. So
okay.
the first one is verdicts, the argument. All right, so the narrative is fresh on the Fresh and Fit podcast.
Mhm.
Shout out to them, by the way. From May 22nd, they made a series of large claims. So we wanted to start off the podcast. All right, so the first claim
Well, yeah,
was
yeah. Go ahead.
it was a small claim that he only wanted to seriously date a woman who would delete her Instagram account. Of course, the ladies on his podcast after hours were not huge fans of this, but instead, given the Fresh is looking for a traditional relationship in his proposed middle ground of a private IG was okay.
Hmm.
Um, he took
I
his
agree.
first two steps further by stating that the changes to the relationship, such as the freedom, in parentheses, or quotations, I'm sorry, uh, women have are making things worse. When one of the young women disagreed, he dropped the bomb that estimates that not only are we at the lowest marriage rates, having fewer children, etc., but also 50%. Some statistics dispute that it's 46 more likely, although some would say as low as 35 of Western women will be single in 2030.
Mm.
To him, it's clear
So
that modern relationships don't work, and women are more masculine and men are more feminine.
the first thing I want to point out is that when it comes to social media, it allows women to monkey branch. You know what I mean? And
Define monkey branch.
Hmm.
so,
Please.
so monkey
Yes, go
Now,
branching.
you
ahead.
sure you don't mean
I'm not
monkey
saying
foot?
I'm not saying men don't do this too, but what I'm saying is women are like infamous for this. So
Hmm.
where you got your quote unquote friend or your setup, where so you can always make a safe landing on the next dude or the next guy or the next ideal. So I personally think if you're doing that, you're not giving your full attention to the person you have now. And though that could be
Hmm.
true, you should always prepare for a safe landing. We ain't falling, we ain't preparing for no safe landing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And if we fall, let's fall hard because we fell for each other. Like that's let's do it. You know what I mean? So I think social media, in a way, is one of the worst things that happened to Western civilization. Period. Like
Yeah,
men or women, but women in
Hmm.
particular
definitely,
because they're
definitely.
taught to seek attention. Like I can have 20 followers and I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck. Don't really give a shit. But
True,
some
true.
women love to have at least 1,000 or 100. Like what the fuck is wrong with you? Who cares? These people aren't real.
The thing about it is that women seek validation all the time. That's who we are. We
Excuse
seek
me. Hold on. Let
validation.
me pause
That's
there for a
that. That's
second. Let me
that.
let's
That's that
pause. Let's
love
pause what
language.
she
That
said,
Pause what she's saying right now.
and
Go
let's
ahead,
bring
DJ.
acknowledgement to what she said. Can you repeat that? Can you repeat what you just said?
I
The last
said
part.
women seek validation.
All right, that's all I wanted. You can continue, ma'am. I'm sorry to interrupt.
I mean, it's the truth. I always ask, how do I look? Am I pretty? And we're used to getting that validation. I could walk down the street, it doesn't matter. Someone's going to make a comment, oh, you look pretty, or yeah, men don't really seek that validation. So that's why I think social media is causing so much of a havoc because
That's not real
that's
validation, right?
hmm?
It
Is that
is
real
now. It used to
validation?
be. It's not tangible validation, especially because it has a quantitative figure bar. There's a number
Right.
Exactly.
of comments and
Yes.
there's a number of likes. So
Yes.
now
So
it's no longer just imaginative, intangible ideal
exactly.
of anything.
Do you
Everything
believe
is
that, or
measured.
you're just saying it?
I have this one young lady. She takes the same types of pictures over and over again. And based on the amount of likes she gets, she won't take a different type of picture because she feels like if she takes a different kind of picture, she's not going to get the same amount of likes.
Is that like fat girls with headshots?
Wow. Yeah,
Like fat
Hmm.
girls
basically.
with headshots? Yeah, I got you.
Basically, it is. It is. But I'm gonna pick up where DJ was going to lead
Hmm.
into, which is So Fresh had one final brutal truth, and that was the most interesting one in my opinion. And he basically asked women what percentage of men they thought were sexually active while single. And the women said things that range from like 40% to like 50 to like 60%. And then Fresh just dropped the bomb that only 10 to 20% of single men are sexually active at any time. And he
Oh,
Really?
believes that
damn.
this is because women are gravitating towards the highest or most prestigious men, foregoing the bottom 80%, who are left to forage and run after the bottom 20% women. And while I couldn't find statistics that accurately back that up, so I
Yeah, I
don't
don't believe
know,
that. But I think black people are more sexual in general. I mean, I hate to say that, but like
I
it's
mean,
the truth.
I think
Actually,
there's some
the
element to that.
stereotype is actually the Hispanic culture, the Latin culture. Even in
Yeah,
I
I was
mean,
gonna
TV,
say yeah.
it's
I
the
don't think we have the
sexy, popular
stereotype, but
Latin.
I think we're similar. I would say we are similar because, like, I remember we did that research on how many women or men people slept with, even though we thought they
Well,
were
that
wrong. When
well,
it came
that's
to
what I was
white
going to
people
go
and
into
black
next,
people,
Reed.
oh, okay, they were very,
So
very vast apart.
what I could dig up is that for the youngins, so 18 to 24 listeners talking to you, 31% of men are engaging in no sex in a year, while not only
Mm.
19% of women are. So there's still about a 12-point disparity of that, which isn't anything to sneeze. And while this declines for ages 25 to 39, it still is 14% for men, which is double the size of that for women. So that's saying 93% of women between the ages of 25 to 39 are having sex when they are single, whereas only 86% of men are doing the same thing. So there's still a titanic shift when it comes to that kind of stuff. Now, once you get into the other things, like once you get to your 40s, apparently you just sticking and dicking. But those first two categories should be very alarming for people. And one of the
Mhm.
things that we always say that people are like, it doesn't matter. No, having a job that does not pay you very much, so AKA less than $50,000 a year, or having part time work was in part something that kind of made it more likely that you were. So it is basically based on money. Now, you still have some outliers, Karstedt, but there are people out there that are just skewing the numbers, and so you don't have them. They make the statistic worse. But the final thing here is that they ruled out that porn or working longer hours were part of the issue. So it doesn't matter if he's watching porn, and it doesn't matter if a man is putting in 60 hours at a job that pays him 725. Like you still is gonna likely be with your palm, and that's alarming because we're essentially becoming similar to China, which has a massive uh, inflation of men who can't get married, who are gay, who are just angry, because that's the kind of thing that leads to either wars or revolutions. And looking at
Mm.
the way China's moving, it's going to lead to war.
Yeah, they ended their one child policy, I think, or then they went to two children, and now they're up to three, right? I think
Did
it's
they?
up
Correct.
to three children.
Yeah,
So
they're up to
essentially,
three kids now.
you do need us women
I
to
think that's one
to
thing
act
we
right.
never denied.
You need
I
us
mean,
to
that's
act
not gonna
right.
happen. That's not gonna happen. And
Yeah.
no, the truth is, it's just not like as a whole, it is what it is. Because you can go for your daughters and the people around you, but as a whole, no, it's just not gonna happen. Like,
First, what I'm saying is that y'all need us to act right. Because the only reason why those statistics are that way is because the way women are.
they're not gonna admit that though, because like again, the biggest thing this week is Kevin Samuels is gay because of what he says. I honestly think he's a bit feminine myself, but they said he admitted that
Agreed.
multiple
Yeah,
times.
exactly. He admitted that on the Tasha K interview because he was
Correct,
Yeah.
raised
but
by women. Like
He was
he
raised by
correct,
can't
women. Yeah.
like
change.
honestly, like my dad. I was the only man around, so I think I have some of those habits too. To be honest with you, like
Mm.
I fight against
I
them, but
think
I'm not super
I got
feminine.
feminine anger issues. I think I
No, I
take
don't have that.
microaggression and all that. I got the anger issues because
Like
I
the
was
thing
raised by a woman.
my dad pushed into me. Like I used to argue with women. He used to always say, and he just caught on with me. Say what you got to say and be done with it. I'm telling you, I would argue with him until my 20s. Like for the most part, I would go back and forth with him because I could. I used to do it with my sisters, and my little sister's a little different. She's a little different, so we used to fight each other. You know what I'm saying? And she
Oh yeah.
Oh, I learned how to fight from female cousin. I ain't gonna lie. I had one that used to put the paws on you, man. Like I ain't gonna lie.
she won.
But oh, in the first few years, yeah. And even if I thought I was winning,
Yeah,
she was laughing when she was getting punched. So I don't think I was winning.
no flex for real quick. She didn't win. You know what I'm saying? One of our fights, but she didn't exactly lose. It was like a top. But then I got tall and
Yeah,
big and shit.
which is a
You know what I'm
loss for
saying?
you.
No,
Yeah,
I
hey,
mean,
I took
look,
those
bro,
W's as
they grow
L's.
faster than you at that age, around 12 something, bro. She was bigger and stronger than me. That ain't even count.
Okay, all right.
But
Whatever you want to say. But I think this is just a very interesting standpoint. And I really
Mhm.
appreciate Reed and DJ for jumping in and also our guests for giving, a really great introduction. Because when we're getting into this kind of stuff of, traditional relationships and how things are going and whatnot, I think everyone understands implicitly that there's a problem. I think we disagree about the solution. I think
Mhm.
having more women who are very feminine like
Mhm.
you, yoga at a glance, are
Oh,
is excellent. We need more of that. But I think
thank
there's
you.
also something. You're welcome. There's something that men need to get back to, which is again, maybe we do need to go into that monk mode from ages 18 to 25 and just
Mhm.
concentrate on yourselves. Because one of the
Mm.
biggest trajectories for you as a man is what you can afford. So if you can afford to go to Aruba, if you can afford to get outside this country, if you can afford to widen your dating pool at the time that you're going to start dating for real, then that gives you a lot more stuff. I'm not saying that, you can't be one with the hose. I mean, you shouldn't biblically, but, what people do and what people don't do is something different. But
Concubines. Concubines. I fight you on that.
okay, concubines. You know what? Fine. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like we really, as men, especially when we're talking to younger men, we really need to encourage them to go
Mhm.
forward. Because I get what Fresh is saying. Like he's a younger guy.
Mhm.
He and Fit built up this really good podcast, and he's now getting a lot of money, and he's just seeing all these women, and he's just like, "You are addicted to your phone." And so my compromise for you is delete the phone if you want to be serious. Otherwise, you'll be girl number six. And a lot of women don't want to be girl number six. They want to be girl number three. They want to be girl number two. They want to be close to girl number one, who's like a pseudo main chick. But
Right.
we really have to get back to the point of people being like, all right, you know what? I am okay with not being internet famous. Because until we
Mm.
get to that point, we're going to continue to be in the same problem. But
I got
any
one
final
statement.
thoughts?
Nikki, do women do what men allow?
Say that again.
Do women do what men allow? Because we can sit up here and blame women, but I think it's men.
Yes.
Yeah,
I tell my daughter, I say, what you tolerate becomes your standard.
yeah, because
So
men tolerate that shit.
yeah, if you tolerate it, then yeah, that means I get to do whatever I want to do. But there's a fine line. I think that men want respect, and I think that respectability is where it comes in. Um, like I've been married for 16 years,
Lucky me.
and thank you, and I respect him as the man of the household. I teach yoga for a living, but I'm also a stay-at-home mom, and I make sure when he comes home the house is peaceful. But at the same time, he has to respect me uh, for who I am outside of being a mom and a wife too. So he can't devalue me because he bring all the money in the house, and I'm not going to tolerate that, you know,
You should.
either. Or there's going to be a mental breakdown in the house.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
and that's when everything goes hand. That's when divorce comes in, and that's when you seek outside sources, and that's wrong. So when I talk to people and they're like, oh, we got to split it 50-50, I'm like, absolutely not. I bring value to the home, and he I don't think, and not I'm not putting all men in the same box. I don't want to put all women in the same box, but men have a machoism about themselves, and that's what makes them masculine. There's an ego there, and I feel like if I brought the bacon, then I get to say everything. I don't think I can handle that responsibility and not be stressed out and become a man myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll become very masculine because
Oh
I'm
yeah.
bringing home all the bacon. And then he's the stay-at-home dad. He's going to feel emasculated, and and then that's going to be a
well, I'm
breakdown in
just
the
gonna stay
household.
quiet on most of this pod because you're saying too many things that
Yeah,
Um,
she dropping
You're gonna get
bombs. She
canceled.
dropping
You're gonna get
bombs.
canceled.
No,
You're
I'm
no,
gonna
gonna
get
no.
get
We're
canceled.
not going to get
not that
canceled.
now I'm gonna get canceled. My relationship going in.
Well,
All right, all
well, we
right.
got.
Well, we
Hold on.
not
Let me
we not
make.
going
Let
that
me make.
far.
Let me make two more statements because that were
Go
interesting.
ahead.
Number one, men, you aren't promised a good woman, and the man who finds a good woman, we said she's worth her weight in gold. Number two, it was something you said that made me think about something. And if I lost it, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna just say I lost it. But that one right there, you aren't promised a good woman. That's just the truth of it. And when you do
mhm,
find one, treat her right and appreciate her. Like it is what it is. And
right.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of dudes lose a good woman because they're trying to impress their homies.
When
Mm.
you're younger, like if you're older,
I
you
ain't
don't
gonna,
care.
I ain't gonna, I ain't gonna say that when you're younger because in this new era of Netflix and chill, not committing and everything, even dudes that actually tell their girl behind closed doors like their true feelings, once they get around their homies, it's a whole different story. Like I ain't
Well,
gonna say that. I
I
don't
think
think it's an age
sometimes.
thing.
I don't think
I
necessarily
seen
all
it.
the time.
I see it very often. I mean, and this demographic asphyxiated. I'm not going to say across the board, but
Oh,
I've
you mean
seen it.
our demographic or the younger?
No, I think it's ours. I think, and when I ain't gonna say
Oh,
ours, I think it's the urban because the white boys that want to be black, the black dudes that want to be future,
Mhm.
and so on, and that it's in that part of the graph. It ain't black. It ain't black men. It's fucking
Yeah, but
it's
I also think that we still have all these women looking at the Cardi B's and the Megan Thee Stallions.
That's true though.
And
I actually had we have that
yeah,
discussion a lot. Where it's girls growing up that want to be Real Housewives, IG girls,
right.
OnlyFans, like that's their career aspirations, which is
Hmm.
sad.
Which is sad.
And
Yeah.
yeah, like yeah, okay, if you want to do that as a side hustle, cool, but that's like your peak. That's your career
hmm
goal.
Right.
That's a problem. But reason I can say I like you as a guest on here, you're probably the second woman that's got on here to call out the bullshit on. That's
Right.
not hating for us to say yo, why the fuck are you trying to grow up to be a reality or social media person? Like that's
Exactly.
Because
not a fucking goal. But
you
that's
Right.
got to
called
look at
hating
it,
now.
man. You got to look at it, man. If they see what, so because some women see that they think men like that, because that goes back to that original statement. They think men like that, so
But that
that's what
is
they
that's the category man I was just describing. Those
correct.
niggas
But
do
you
like
don't,
that because
yeah. But those men don't. You don't want those men that like women like
but they
that because
do. They
truly,
do though. They want
oh,
that
there's
dude temporarily until they find out what's
yeah,
behind the curtain. Like that
Exactly.
nigga
correct.
is a leased car. That nigga is just like the leased car that he used to stunt on when he goes to South Beach on spring break. And that's what I mean by that. Like it's a whole bunch of people trying to stunt on each other until they figure out what the hell it's like when you go home with that motherfucker.
Hmm.
Yeah.
how is
So that's what I
that's
mean by that.
so
Two final
interesting.
I, f-
things.
I feel like some
Oh,
of
sorry.
those
Go ahead,
women like that
RJ.
are more fantasy pieces than anything.
It is
I
though.
would
It
agree.
is. I
I would
mean,
agree.
and what's funny is I hate to say it, y'all, and I ain't attacking y'all as usual. Georgia and or Atlanta and Miami are
Yeah,
like
you
the two
just stay
places that
hating on
are
Atlanta.
no, it's those are the two spots that are literally like the homes of that. Like
It's Black
the
Hollywood,
it is, and
but
it's
let's act
looked
like
at.
Chicago niggas is the
See,
thug
no,
ass.
but Chicago, but the thing
Chicago
is,
niggas worse.
Chicago ain't glamorized for nothing rather other than killing. Like,
Correct.
like y'all are black
Hey,
spring break.
bitches like Lil
Y'all are
Durk.
black. Y'all are. I don't know why he looks like a lesbian, but y'all are the black spring break getaways and everything outside of what is it Tulum and now Puerto Rico. They didn't turn Puerto Rico into Tulum because
Oh,
they know the niggas
really?
going there and doing it. Yeah, during the pandemic and everything, niggas are not going there because they found out they don't need a passport to go there.
Mm.
Yeah, that was the worst thing to happen to Puerto Rico ever. But two final closing thoughts. So, Reed,
Right.
let's say the average woman weighs 160 pounds. So that
Really?
means a woman's weight in gold is $3.6 million. Secondly, getting back to what you were saying, yoga at a glance,
Yes.
you talked a lot about respect, and there's a really interesting book if you're going through marriage counseling or anything like that called Love and Respect, and you hit on basically the main point of the author, which is that men and women both want respect and they both want love, but for men, respect is like paramount, whereas for women, they kind of put love first depending on who the woman is. So I thought
Right.
that was very poignant of you to say it without saying it, or saying the quiet part out loud, as some black people
you
like to
know,
say.
I got
But
it.
transitioning, go ahead. What's the
No, I was gonna say,
final word?
final thought. I have a good example of it for all those men and women. I take it more so for the women. It was a chick that I knew that we messed around a little bit. We were cool, messed around a little bit. She was into ratchet activities, but she was
Mhm.
also into looking for a guy to be with long term. Like one point, she even asked me, and we were just hook up every once in a while, and I was like, I don't see you as that type for me. That was the best way I can put it.
Mm.
But she eventually found a dude. that man, I think he makes around 6 figures, but he's into ratchet activities. But he's a white collar earning black dude in Atlanta at that, and they look happy as fuck. They bought a
Mm,
house
So
together. They got
he's out
married.
there.
They do trips and shit like that. Like that is literally what she wanted in a man, physically and externally. And as a man
right,
that like looks at her and sees her a certain way, like it ain't like you gotta settle for the nigga that ain't about shit just because he's one of what you want. Some of y'all
right,
gotta realize you gonna cap out at 80, like 80%. The 80-20 rule is real. And I think she found it in, bro. Like, so it ain't like I wouldn't have been the one for her. Like, real talk. I knew I wouldn't because I didn't see her that way.
right,
Like, I'm gonna treat you the way I see you. And that's why a lot of these girls and some of these dudes the same way. Y'all ain't gonna get treated the way you want to be treated because the person you with don't see you the way that you want to be treated.
right, right.
That's
Well,
a
That's
bomb.
That's a good
that's
tone of
what
words.
settling for mess means.
Yeah, write that bomb down. I'm gonna treat you the way I see you. I like
Real
Yes.
that.
shit.
Treat you the way I
It's
see
real
Yeah.
talk though. That's what it is. Like, I'm not gonna treat you like a fucking
well,
queen
I
because
guess
I don't see you as a queen.
that's another. That's one a question. I mean, guess for your next episode, is how like what is the look? Like, there's. I mean, I remember a long time ago, people would say you're the marrying type, and then there's not the marrying type. But how does a man see
It's
that?
just like a suit. Every suit
Well,
ain't built to
yeah.
everybody off the rack. It has to be tailor made. So that look is not a standardized look. It is the
Right.
look for that person that you. Yeah, it's like
Um,
y'all literally have to fit each other. It's kind of like that, but most people don't want to wait to fit each other. They want now because they feel like
mhm.
age plays a big part, which sometimes it does, depending on how old you are.
Is it?
But
Oh, we're gonna let him go to the next topic because I was just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I was just like, it
this is
ain't even
a
about how
good
she
topic.
look.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I like me some sevens. If I had to be honest,
Well, I'm just
I like me
saying
some
Well, no,
because
sevens.
I'm saying I'm not
well,
saying the
the only
physical
reason
look though.
why
I'm
I
saying
say
the look
that, the only
theoretically.
reason why I'm saying that is because my husband cannot see why Kanye West married Kim Kardashian based on her reputation, and he's
No,
like,
because
And
like,
that's
Kanye
just her.
explained that. Kanye explained that's what he saw in the perfect woman at the time. At that time, what he was looking for, she fit the bill for him at that
Mhm.
time, and
Yeah,
that's
but
what
interesting.
he
you
was
can't really.
going for.
That culture
Like,
is different. Like when you
yeah,
have that much money and it's black money and it's kind of hip hop money. Hip hop
Hmm.
money is kind of nasty. If
but
you,
at that time, when he was wanting Kim, when he was wanting
Hmm.
Kim, it was with Amber, and outside of Amber's hoish stylish stripper ways,
Hmm.
she is actually way more beautiful than Kim Kardashian before the tattoo on her forehead.
Right.
But
Correct.
Kanye Kanye saw Kim as the mountain's peak. And
correct, but
honestly,
coming
had
from where
she
you're
not,
coming from,
yeah, I mean it is, but every man has their own mountain peak. Like you in your head right now know what your peak is. Every one of us
Hmm.
know what our peak is aesthetically, but that shit can be ruined by what that woman is like for real.
So it's in
And
the
I'm
eye of the
speaking from
beholder.
experience, yeah, because I ain't gonna lie,
Yes.
I've gotten my physical aesthetic peak, and that bitch ruined me mentally for years. Like I had to
oh,
rebuild. I got heavy.
there we
Dang.
are.
And she was Creole. I mean, she was Creole.
Mm.
You listen to
Oh
this,
man. So
Brittany,
she's
you go
saying
to
slick
hell,
stuff
you
to you.
rotten bitch.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
raggedy bitch. I hope
That was
you and
not
your
what
two
I thought I
baby
was saying
fathers are
exactly
doing
too.
well.
All right, DJ, we're gonna lift up from here. I originally was gonna talk about how June is Black History or Black Music Month, but instead I'm gonna go in on this Chick-fil-A thing. So basically, jumping into the hint that we gave people earlier who were mad at Chick-fil-A again, and by people I mean trans folks, police, how Dan Cathy spends his money. Burger King jumped into the fray to say that they were going to donate a percentage of every chicken sandwich sold, which I'm sure most of the people listening just remember that Burger King has a chicken sandwich.
Right.
It's pretty funny that everyone is getting mad at how Dan Cathy spends his money, but are we really gonna make it the bridge to police how someone spends their personal profit? He's not spending Chick-fil-A's money. He's spending his own money. Now, I get it. You don't like it. I mean, I'm not really a fan of it.
Oh,
I think
wait. I missed it. What did he spend his money on?
he's spending his money to promote anti-trans legislation.
Mm.
Basically, they're trying to come out with this thing called the Equality Bill, which would get added into the Civil Rights Act, which basically would mean you cannot, stigmatize somebody based on their dead name and all the other stuff. You know what dead name is, right, Reed?
No.
Dead name is basically what people who have transitioned what their previous name was. So, like, if it was a person whose previous name was Mark and their new name is Markeisha, they want to be referred to as Markeisha. Mark is dead. So that would be included in this equality act or bill that's currently being debated. And so he's been spending, money like water. Like I think he spent like $5.6 million or so,
Oh.
basically trying to prevent that from happening. Now, again, I don't have any dog in this fight because I'm not looking to transition, and I think
Uh-uh.
that as a person, regardless of whether you like what the dominant society is doing or not, you shouldn't spend your money on telling people to shut up because that never goes well. You add fire to the flame, such as the Barbara Streisand effect. But it's one of those things where it's like, bro, he should have the right to spend his money. Again, I don't agree with how he's spending it, but he should have the right to spend his money freely without people doing anything. I get it. That you're like, he's spending against my rights. It's like, well, tell that to the NRA who've been spending money to keep black folks down for a long time, but y'all didn't say shit during that time, so I don't want to hear it now. But I don't know. I think that's a bridge too far, and I think most people on this podcast would probably agree with me. So I probably should just go ahead and transition into entertainment. So the Conjuring movie on HBO, Reed, tell us about it. Was it good? Did it suck? Or is it Dan Cathy and you want to spend money to get it eradicated?
I started watching
And
it, but I fell asleep.
it was
I
so
like the
boring.
honesty. I like the honesty.
Armstead said no. This was not Mortal
No, no,
Kombat.
no, no, no. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I was actually really, really tired. So I normally don't fall asleep during movies, but this time I
So
was tired.
tired, the scares boredom.
I don't really could it again. He's talking about you talking about the
The
Conjuring.
Conjuring,
Conjuring
yes.
2, the Conjuring 2. So I started watching it. I probably got maybe like 10 minutes in, and end up falling asleep. So far in the beginning, it don't seem bad. It doesn't seem bad at all. Actually, it seems pretty good. I just was just tired of shit.
I watched the whole
So
the other Conjuring movies. You're gonna totally different. Um, it follows a case back in the 1980s about a guy who murdered his I think they said it was his landlord, and he said the devil made me do it. Basically,
oh really?
That's a lot. That's a lot. He going through some
I,
things.
I I openly told y'all in the chat I didn't watch it because I'm a bitch.
No, you're not a bitch. You just don't like scary movies. It's
I don't
okay.
like scary movies neither.
Well, it's certain types of scary movies, and the demonic ones, like I wouldn't watch it just because I never got into The Conjuring because I ain't. It ain't my cup of tea, especially when I can go to bed and I like to walk around my house in pitch black dark,
Wait.
pitch
So you
black.
said the special forces nigga who walking around in black
Well, no.
and
See, that's the
energy.
thing. That's the thing. I watched Army of the Dead, which is what we should have talked about. Because I ain't gonna lie, I'll wait and see if you want to talk about it after this. But The Conjuring, you can't shoot entities and poltergeists and shit like that.
What's that dude in the Marvel MC universe who used to fight that kind of stuff? Constantine, that's what he did.
Constantine was a fucking what do they call him? He knew the dark arts and everything. He was like what? Not like
Well,
Dr.
get
Fate
your
because they're in
dark
the same
arts level
universe.
up, man. You at
Nigga,
zero.
I
Get
got
it up to
crystals and them
5.
shits ain't gonna save me. Goddamn it, my ambulance Pikachu ain't gonna get me out of everything. Nah,
Pikachu not gonna save you. My
nigga,
Pikachu,
y'all
he
think
would
I'm playing?
save me.
I have a legitimate Pikachu crystal. I forgot what the name of the stone is. I do, but I'm saying I got a fucking obsidian, black obsidian, black Batman fucking head. I have crystals and shit here, but the thing is, I don't know about all this energy and shit. Now, even when we went to New Orleans, we got to see some shit, and it was like, I'm glad we got our stones, our tumbles in our pockets. But if we gonna talk about entertainment and movies, we need to talk about Army of the Dead because I don't like zombie movies because they're boring to me.
Transitioning.
They're trash. They are
I
trash.
saw that too.
Army of the Dead was actually a dope ass movie.
It
Even
was
with the
alright.
white girl being the evil mastermind that nobody talks about.
Yes, I get that, but it was just the evolution of zombies, like how they had the alphas and shit like that. And then at the end of it, guess who lived throughout the whole fucking movie and it's gonna kick off the sequel as a whole new breed of zombie. The nigga.
The nigga is the true
Ghost.
threat.
Ghost of all people. Ghost.
Look, man, you leave Ghost alone, okay?
No, I'm
He's
saying
had
I
a
like that.
hard
I
time after
appreciate that.
Power.
I appreciate that. But that movie was actually dope. I like the premises. I like the storyline. I like the
You
setup.
really think that's gonna happen? Because I
That
don't think
is
that's
that
gonna
was set up
happen.
because this is technically a sequel of Dawn of the Dead.
I don't think you think he's gonna be an alpha.
He is. He was bit by Alpha.
Yeah, that's right.
This is
That's
true.
He
right.
was
Yeah, he
bit
That's
by
right.
was. He
Zeus.
was.
He was bit by
He
Zeus.
was. You're right. You're right. He was. He was. You're right.
And he in the
I just
radiation and
figured that
shit
he
like
was just
that.
gonna go there and he was just gonna just fucking just be loose and just start fucking shit up, but like be like not in control. You know what I'm saying?
So
Yeah,
not like
but
that vegan zombie from with that zombie movie from before, because that was actually a dope thing. Is like because he only ate vegetables and stuff, he was able to retain control over the zombification, unlike us who eat meat who are just completely destroyed. That was actually a dope thing. But you're right, Army of Dead, good movie. It'll be interesting to see how Ghost gets now his power. So will he come back to power as a zombie? That's what I want to
it's
know.
meta. See that? See, it's metaphors within metaphors. Stay woke, my brothers.
Stay woke. All right, Reed, we'll need you for this topic because this is all you, man. The Lakers are out first round.
Oh
First
my
for
god. Yeah.
LeBron James, 14-1, first round. What do you think? Or if you're driving, what do you think, DJ All Might, our second resident sports nigga?
Second, first off, I actually am a LeBron James fan. Not a stan where everything he does isn't wrong, but it feels disappointing, man. Like the story narrative and everything that's going on because I obviously don't like y'all bitch ass biracial night elf mohawk Trey Young, and I don't want to see him succeed in life and ever. Um, I really don't. I don't like that nigga. Like I swear to God, I would square up with him at a moment's notice. I don't know
Bro,
nothing
he's like
about him, but
5'8". Leave him alone.
I don't know what he looks like if Caesar from Planet of the Apes was shaved and balding at the same time.
All right,
Anyway,
so first off, let's go at the media and laugh at him telling you the Lakers was the best team all year. They had the number one
no,
defense. They play
we
slow as
knew
fuck.
we knew the
They
Lakers
play slow as
without
fuck.
Anthony
They don't have the
Davis.
number one defense.
Without Anthony Davis, they were not gonna win.
Bro,
Correct.
And
LeBron quit, bro. That's the difference between him
Also
and
he
true.
anybody
can't.
you
But
call a
the man
superstar.
is
That nigga
36
quit.
years old, going on 37 in July. Not
He's
July,
No, he
September.
been
old.
quitting, bro. When he feel like he ain't gonna win, that nigga always
But you
quit, bro.
can't. But you all right? How come? All right. Y'all didn't do none of this for what Steph Curry, who just got kicked out. He didn't
Well,
make it to
Steph
the playoffs
Curry's a
this year.
GOAT, bro. He's the GOAT of light skinned niggas right now.
Oh
Him
my
and
God!
Drake
See,
are in one
exactly.
A and B.
Kawhi. If Kawhi loses, if look, nobody getting on Kawhi for last year, and if they lose this series against Luca this year, they ain't gonna get on him. Who I
They
honestly
did
I
get
would
on
like
him.
to see. No, they didn't. They didn't. They
Yes,
don't
they
go
did.
in on him like
They
they
got on
do.
PG. They got on PG
They got
because
on P. They
he
always get on PG. Yes, I know. I know, but because PG is just a thinner, taller fucking James Harden. That nigga's
they
stupid
play
unless you talk
tonight.
about
They play
basketball.
tonight, right? They play
I gotta
tonight,
watch
right?
that. Yeah, I open up a new e.
Well, sayonara, Lakers. You were never
But
as good
no,
as advertised. I told you, bro. I think whatever podcast
LeBron,
that
I
was,
think
I told you the boys
unless they
weren't gonna
re,
win.
unless they rebuild that team, he's not gonna win another one. Let's just put it like that. I'll say
Bro,
that.
he wasn't gonna win another one. Period. They won a bubble championship. As I told you, the bubble
Yeah, but
championship don't
all right.
count.
This is why your what's the word theory on bubble championship is not valid because that same thing is why your was it PG Henry Paul failed. They mentally collapsed. All them niggas mentally
Correct.
collapsed. Like
Speaking of mental collapse, y'all saw how people responded to Osaka versus how they responded to Paul George last year making those same comments.
Yeah, but the difference
Whatever.
here is Paul George is a man.
but what I'm
I
saying
just want to
is
point that out.
I'm basing it off of I always waited for them to say what I saw from the bubble that was similar to a military deployment outside of them having like a 5-star hotel and everything being stuck in one place for a long period of times and you can't have a guest or nothing like that. All you can do is
Hold
work
on,
out
wait,
and go to
pause.
work.
That was a 5-star hotel. They was at Disney.
It
Let's
is.
get
I
that
know.
right.
All right. But the thing is, you know how we say if you're going on a vacation for too long, the shit gets real boring and dull. That was a mental thing. You have to mentally make it to the end. And a lot of people gave up mentally because they ain't used to not being able to fuck their hoes, get their thoughts, get their liquor, get their weed. Yes. And guess what? I've said it before. I've done these little
Jason
secret
Hope.
ass parties. Them niggas smoke weed during the season. And they couldn't make it without their vices. And that's what LeBron kills on. He was able to do it and focus on. Everybody else is falling apart because they need all this extra shit to get through the season or the playoffs.
What I'm saying to you is both teams that were in the championship last year got eliminated in the first round.
I agree, and I think the Clippers are
But
going to
it's
get eliminated.
hilarious that that happened.
I want the
think that is
Sixers. I want the
But you know
Sixers
what,
or
bro?
Giannis.
Only thing I would
Longest
say about that is I don't like Luca because I think he's the white knight for people. And I don't like him.
he is, but he got skill.
the
But he
great
is
white hope.
No, I'm saying he's
he's the
good,
great
but
white
he's
hope.
not as good as advertised. If that makes sense.
But he's the great white hope because they're saying it like they already called him an all time great in year 2.
And
This
he's
is
not. Yeah, and he's not.
yeah. Like I do
Jokic
hate
is
that.
better than him. Yeah, Jokic
I
is
give you
better than
that.
him.
I give you
Straight
that.
up. Like nobody
He
acts
is
like this.
all
I guess
around.
because he's not a. Well, neither one of them are American. But Jokic is
No,
straight
Yeah,
up
neither
better
of
than
them is
him.
American. And
but
in fact, isn't he like Russian or some shit?
I mean,
yeah, they
something
are.
like that.
One is Russian and Luca's
Serbian.
Serbian or yeah.
Okay, I
You
respect
go
Serbians more
Serbian.
than Russians.
Whatever,
But
man. So
but
back.
what I would
Hey,
like
hold
to
on.
see the
Wait. Who gonna
Sixers
call it?
win.
Who winning? Who winning it all?
I want to see the Sixers or the Bucks win. I don't want to see
Well, the
the
Hawks
bitch
come out
ass.
off them Sixers.
I know. I saw they won. Yeah. I don't want to see KD and James Harden win another championship a day of their life. I don't want to see them succeed in basketball. In life, I do. In life, they can succeed all they want, black excellence and all that. And but in basketball, I don't want to see KD and I don't want to see James Harden succeed ever again
So
because
as we
fuck
talking
them
right
niggas.
now, the Clippers and the Lakers are 34-33. I mean, the Clippers and the Mavs 34-33. And I'm gonna go with the Clippers, and I hope they win it all.
You want the Clippers
You
to
know
win?
what? I
I
hope the
want the
Clippers
Clippers to
win
win
as
it all.
well because they deserve a title after all these years of being not good
The
enough.
worst moribund team ever.
I wouldn't be
Correct.
mad. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't mind them being in last, but I honestly want to see Giannis win one, and I wouldn't mind seeing Joel Embiid win one.
He hurt, bro.
I
Yeah,
know.
but he can figure it out for
But
them.
he African, man. And once he taps
All
into
right,
his
so
little Wakanda
that's the end
roots,
of sports. Let's get back to the real topics. We just want to let y'all know we watched them, some
Oh,
of
you
us,
know what the real
Oh
topic
God,
is?
thank you.
The real topic
so
is
we
what
can
y'all
get
was
our
talking
guests
about
involved.
earlier.
I'm mad at you,
Exactly.
Armstead, for being the most physically active one and not being in the sports. Shame on you, nigga.
Hey man, I ain't gonna say I'm not into sports. I'm just not into that sport.
I mean, he
You know,
considered UFC to be a sport, and I don't.
it's not a
Hey,
sport.
you let
That's
this
just
man be our boxing
this is
correspondent because you know
legal
that match is
manslaughter.
You
coming
said
up.
UFC, not boxing.
It's legal manslaughter.
It is legal manslaughter, but we gonna leave that where it is. So getting back to what y'all were talking about earlier, back when I was in the sunken place, Summer Walker's in the news again, and it's of course hilarious. So first she got mad at London on the track, saying that he ain't shit, which his first, baby mama could have told her. Now she blaming black men because he made her a baby mama, which is like, no, you made yourself a baby mama by deciding to
Correct.
have sex with London on the track, who wasn't particularly great with his first baby mama and was very public about just telling her, fuck them kids. And by kids, I mean kid. But then you had Summer Walker decide that she was going to show her malnourished ass looking baby on Instagram with that hemp milk. And then she got mad that people on social media reacted because some mothers were like, oh, hell no. And it was like, yeah, I mean, that's true. Like she really did throw out there with that
You know,
baby
one
that
thing that's
go
consistent
ahead.
about some single mothers is like everybody assume all single mothers are good, and I think that is so hilarious.
I didn't think
Like,
Summer Walker was a good single person that depended on herself. Like I feel like she's the worst type of human being in the world that looks unwashed.
she has a neck tattoo, bro.
You
She
leave that
looks
neck
like
tattoo
she looks
alone.
unwashed, bro. Like she ain't like she showers every other month, man.
Oh
Bro,
my
she
Like
has a neck
god.
She
tattoo.
showers a lot so that you can see them tattoos, bro. She
She has a
showers
neck
every
tattoo,
day.
bro.
She specifically showers and puts coconut oil on so the neck tattoo glistens.
No, am I tripping? She does have a neck tattoo, right?
Yes, she has a
I,
669
I,
on the side of her neck.
I feel like I'm sitting in the middle of a barber shop.
that's what this is about. That's what this is like, honestly.
She has
That's
a
true.
neck tattoo, bro. I would
Oh
never
Look,
date a woman with a
look,
neck
look
tattoo.
at her. All right, all
Did
right,
you
all right.
say
Look,
date
look.
or would
You
you
know what?
sleep with her?
This is
I
what
wouldn't
Summer
even sleep
Walker
with her.
is.
You know, we don't sleep with these
No,
hoes. We
no,
don't want to get pregnant
Reed,
no more.
stop lying, Reed, stop lying.
Stop
Say
lying,
that
Lee. Stop the
say
cap.
that after several shots of Hennessy or after a night of
No,
drinking. Say it after
no,
a night of drinking. Nope, no, I won't
no.
believe it. I
This
say
is
that
why
all
this
the
man
time.
stopped drinking. This is why Reed stopped drinking. So that
I
he
Okay,
don't
wouldn't have to
drink, so
worry
you ain't
about
gonna
this.
catch me like that,
that's
bro.
why I say
Exactly.
that. That's why I say that because when I say I would not talk to her, so
Bro,
like
I
I
wouldn't.
always do. I
She has
make
a neck tattoo, bro. I'm like, bro, what I'm gonna do with you?
Hey,
I'm
can't let
not
the
fucking
next
with
bitch
no bitch
go.
with no
you
neck
know what
tattoo,
you
bro.
do. You know what you do. You treat her like the net tattoo
Bro,
says.
I'm
Run
out here
that
in these
shit.
streets and I ain't never
Six
fought no bitch
six
with no neck
six
tattoo.
6'9" is not a specific method for how to treat someone.
I don't have a problem with a neck tattoo.
I know
Look,
you
Man,
don't
shut
Armstead.
up. You don't like bitches who smoke. You guarantee this bitch smoke. This bitch like she smoke everybody out.
She
That's
smoke
different, man.
backwoods. She can smoke backwoods, no filter.
Backwoods, no
I
filter.
I I didn't say I didn't feel you though. I didn't say I didn't feel you.
I don't know, bro. I ain't never seen you with no chick with a neck tattoo, but I don't be seeing your chicks anyway, so who knows?
True,
Oh my
true.
goodness.
I mean, we
I'm
saw that
gonna.
one girl.
Hold on, let her speak. Let her speak, because I'm curious about neck
No, no,
tattoos.
no, no. No. I'm saying that I have to leave.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, well.
Yeah, I have
Hold
to
on.
go.
Give me
But
your information before you can go.
but thank you for just allowing me the space to share my views on femininity and welcome me in with open arms. I appreciate that.
Moving
no,
We'd
on.
love to have
appreciate
you back.
you for being like legitimately a real voice, and then you obviously are. What's the word? Your voice is swaying to compromise those of the
The
most
true
masculine
voice
of
of the
men.
heroes.
A
Thank
heroine
you.
amongst hoes.
A heroine amongst hoes.
Well, yeah, just definitely. I'll try to see if I can come back again. And
Where can they find you?
my social media is Yoga at a Glance, and my Facebook is Nikki C Green. And each and every one of y'all should come and take my yoga class.
You say, what's your you said, what's that, your IG or
My
Instagram.
Facebook for
Instagram handle is
that? Yeah,
Yoga at a Glance.
yoga at a glance. All right, so to say. Okay, got you.
Yeah, she's good at what she does. But yes, we will
Hey, respect.
definitely include you in the show notes, Yoga at a Glance. Thank you for coming to the podcast. Really appreciate you being here. Um, I would say for someone to drop some bombs for her, but we're not the Breakfast Club. So thanks
Fuck
again, Yoga at a
Charlamagne.
Glance.
Please come back.
Yes, definitely
Yeah,
get come back.
definitely. Y'all were definitely gentlemen. I appreciate y'all, and thank you so much for having me.
Of
Thank
course,
you,
of course.
Armstead. We appreciate it.
Yes.
No problem.
All right. Y'all have a beautiful rest of the y'all day.
You
Thanks,
too.
you too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye bye.